Alright guys, so welcome back to another video, JStar15 here, and today we're going to be going over the latest Pokemon film, Pokemon Movie 20, I Choose You. Now I recently went to see this in the theatres and I have a lot to talk about, so that's why I'm making this video. It's going to be sort of review, but it's more like a thoughts and opinion on the film more than the review. So anyway, without further ado, let's just jump into the ratings and review. So yeah, first of all, I do want to say that the film was actually quite good, but then there were times at it which I watched it and I thought, why has that happened? Or I thought, meh, that doesn't really make sense, or I don't really get what's happening. This video will contain spoilers to what happens, so if you do not want to be spoiled or anything like that, then please do not watch the rest of this video. Click off now. I'll give you 3 seconds to do that. Right, so if you're still there, then you want it to be spoiled or you've already seen it and want to see my opinion, so here we go. So the first thing I want to point out is, I think the film was a bit rushed, or it felt like half a film. Where the film ended, I was sat there thinking, why is it just finished? It could go another half an hour, you know, and it would have made a bit more sense. But it felt like the whole film was rushed to begin with. Parts of it that were important in the first season were completely cut out. Others were just sped up so far that you didn't really understand why that just happened. And yeah, I don't understand why they did that. They could have made it longer. They could have made the film longer. And I think I would have enjoyed that a bit more. That being said, one good thing about this is the graphics. The graphics were pretty good, if I must say so myself. They've gone back to the X, Y, and Z anime style instead of the Sun and Moon. Obviously, it's a nice change. I don't mind the Sun and Moon anime style, but X, Y, and Z were obviously a lot better, and they've gone back to that. Also, Ash and Team Rocket, the voices are the same as the Sun and Moon and X, Y, and Z. So, again, I like the fact that they didn't change up the voice actors for this film like they usually do, so that was pretty good. Parts of the film as well were actually quite funny. There was times when we sat in the theatre and then all of a sudden something had happened and everybody in the theatre would just burst out laughing. And that's what I actually enjoyed about this. It wasn't funny as in the Sun and Moon style, how they pulled funny faces or just act completely stupid. So the film opens up with the original cutscene where it shows two trainers battling in the final of the Pokemon League. But what I found was really good, I don't know if people noticed this, but the two people battling was Corey and Nisha. If you don't know who Corey and Nisha are, they are some of the characters from the very first Pokemon movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back. I put pictures up so you know what they look like. So I thought that was a very cool reference. The fact that they used characters from over 20 years ago, they put in the Pokemon League battling each other. My money is on Corey, I would say. Another good thing about this was Ash himself. Not only did he look good with the anime style, he was actually knowledgeable about the Pokemon universe or the Pokemon world. So what I saw, there was a lot of differences from the original first season to this film. For example, when Pikachu fights off all the Pharaohs in the first season, a lightning bolt comes down and strikes Pikachu. Well, in this, it didn't. Then the Charmander scene. Ash, Brock and Misty take Charmander to a Pokemon Center. Well, in this, they went to a cave. But Cross is the new rival, and when I was watching, I was thinking, this guy really reminds me of Paul from the Sinnoh region. He doesn't care about Pokemon. He doesn't care about weak Pokemon. He only wants the strongest that can be. So Charmander actually belonged to Cross in the first place, but then Charmander wasn't that strong. So Cross pretty much abandoned Charmander on a rock to wait and pretty much die out. But Charmander was strong enough to wait there and actually wait for him. So it was a good thing that Ash managed to find Charmander and rescue it. But Cross is a little bit of a mean person, I must say so. So another thing that let down this movie for me was the characters. So the two characters that Ash is travelling with is Verity and Sorrel, or if you know the Japanese name, Makota and Soji. So Verity is from Twin Leaf Town in the Sinnoh region. Obviously her name being named after Lake Verity that's there. She has a Piplup and a Lapras. And when she went on her phone, we saw a picture of her mum and an Empoleon. And her mum kind of reminded me a lot of Cynthia, which kind of got my brain ticking, what if this girl is Cynthia's child? And her goals. She doesn't really know what she wants to do with her life yet. She just wants to travel around, meet Pokemon and so on like that. She doesn't really know where her goal is going to be taking her, where she's going to be heading. Then we go on to Sorrel. So Sorrel is from Velastone City in the Sinnoh region as well. And he has a Lucario as his Pokemon. Now we did get an interesting backstory to him. When he was younger, he went out into the snow in the freezing cold and he got a bit lost. But his family had a Luxio that came out and pretty much warmed him up by cuddling him. But sadly, the Luxio did actually die in the end. This is going to sound mean, but I was actually happy that they were expanding into actually saying Pokemon can actually die, you know. You got to feel sorry for the Pokemon there. So I did actually enjoy that quite a bit. Now I just sound really mean. But yeah, his goal is he wants to be a Pokemon professor and research about legendary Pokemon. So he was a bit like Brock in that sense, wanting to be a Pokemon breeder, wanting to investigate all different Pokemon. But why did I say that these two characters let the film down? It's because we have no connection with them at all. So Verity and Sorrel, this is the first ever time they've been in the anime, and a lot of people was like, why is Brock and Misty not coming back into this? I don't understand why I've got these two new characters, both from Sinnoh, I must add, so they're not actually from the Kanto region where Ash is from, which I didn't really understand why they included Sinnoh. It's probably a little hint that they're going to make the Diamond and Pearl games for the Switch. We'll just have to see about that. But I actually left the theatre thinking, alright, so there was Ash, there was Verity, and I could not remember Sorrel's name. I was just sat there thinking, what's the guy's name? I think it was literally said 2 or 3 times in the entire film, which is a bit bad because he's a main character and I couldn't even remember what he was called. So moving on, another thing that I think was rushed was the Butterfree scene. Butterfree met a Lady Butterfree and they went off and Ash had to release it, and it was actually quite sad. I know a lot of people that did cry at that, but because this film was quite short and it felt like it was rushed, we didn't get the same feeling as we did back then. Once Metapod evolved into Butterfree, I think it literally had 10 minutes of screen time and then it was gone. And we didn't really get the connection that we did back in Season 1, which was quite upsetting because it was a big impact on Ash and Pikachu's lives. But yeah, again, it felt rushed and yeah, it wasn't quite good there. Another thing that I think let down this a little bit was the fact that Brock and Misty were not mentioned in the entire film whatsoever. We had the intro to the thing where Ash, throws his alarm clock, he's late to the Pokemon lab, gets Pikachu, they beat off all the Spearows, but then it cut straight to Ash battling with Erica, the third gym leader. And Ash obviously won, got the badge, and Erica was saying, oh, how many badges have you got? He was like 3. So there was no mention of Brock and Misty in the entire thing. Not only that, but there was no Squirtle or Bulbasaur. In the first season, Ash had a Squirtle and a Bulbasaur, but in this, they were nowhere to be seen and Ash didn't get them. Another point I want to make, it didn't let down the film in my opinion, but it was pointless them being there, is Team Rocket. There was no need for them in the entire film. There was absolutely no need. They popped up like 4 times in the entire film and they did nothing. They first appeared at the Pokemon Center where they heard, oh, an Entei's loose, let's go and get it, and then they went off. Then they landed on a bunch of Primeape. Oh, we're blasting off again, bye-bye, they're gone. Then they're climbing up a mountain. Meowth, let's go. Oh, we're blasting off again. There was pointless them being there. The fact that they didn't even know Ash and Pikachu at this point, it's just, why? The only reason they were there is for nostalgia. Another good thing about this was, I'd say, is Marshallow's illusions. Now, at a certain part in the film, Ash gets really angry with Verity and Sorrel and Pikachu, actually, and basically runs off, leaving them all behind. And Ash gets pretty angry and just wants a moment to think. And Marshallow's there and puts him into sort of an illusion. And he's in what I would call our world. Like, he's a 10-year-old boy, he goes to school, Pokemon don't exist. And it was sort of a nightmare for him, saying, like, he has this friend, this yellow Pikachu creature, but he doesn't know what it's called, he doesn't know what it is, but he knows that they used to be best friends and something happened. So that was quite fun to see that they're actually, going to a normal school, they're doing lessons, they have to do homework, stuff like that. But again, it was just an illusion and it's not real for them. Then we met another character called Bonji, who is an explorer, who basically tied in Marshadow with Ho-Oh and the Rainbow Wing, saying a Rainbow Wing will fall to the Rainbow Hero, which is Ash in the film, because Ash is the main guy, and who else would it go to? Absolutely nobody. And he was saying that he spent 40 years trying to find Marshadow and the Rainbow Wing, and then he meets Ash all of a sudden. Ash has the wing, so Bonji follows them on half of the journey towards the big mountain to find Ho-Oh. But yeah, another character that we don't really know anything about, but you know what? Another character, it's okay. So going back to Cross. So Cross's Pokemon, he had a Incineroar and a Midnight Form Lycanroc. So these two Pokemon, I would say, are 2 more of the scarier Pokemon or the more meaner Pokemon in the Pokemon world. So that kind of fitted Cross's personality a bit. So Cross in this is the bad guy in the film. Cross basically abandons Pokemon. He doesn't like Ash. He doesn't like losing. If you lose, then you are pathetic. He's going to become the greatest Pokemon trainer in the world. And in the end, he steals the Rainbow Wing from Ash. But because he has a dark heart and he's not pure, Marshadow goes evil and steals the energy from the Rainbow Wing, basically wanting to kill absolutely everybody at that place. So yeah, once Marshadow drains the energy of the Rainbow Wing, it starts attacking everybody, takes over Midnight Form Lycanroc and starts attacking Cross with him. takes over all the wild Pokemon there and starts attacking Ash, Bonji, Sorrel, and Verity there. So then Pikachu decides to take on Marshadow, and yeah, it doesn't really go well. Pikachu pretty much gets absolutely destroyed. Marshadow, I believe, uses Aura Sphere, but it somehow can manipulate the Aura Sphere so it follows Pikachu. It's like a tracking device. Threw the Aura Sphere out, and whatever way Pikachu went, the Aura Sphere would follow and eventually hit Pikachu. So Pikachu is very injured on the ground. Ash then threw the Pokeball at Pikachu, saying, get in the Pokeball, you need to be safe, you know, this could go really, really bad. So Ash stands in front of Pikachu, protecting Pikachu, which I thought was very, very good. Making a reference to the first episode where Ash was standing in front of Pikachu, protecting Pikachu from the Spearows. But yeah, since Pikachu is very brave and doesn't want to listen to Ash, it jumps over Ash, trying to go to do the attack, but Ash doesn't let him, grabs Pikachu, and basically gets hit with loads of attacks. They go flying on the ground on the edge of a mountain cliff, I must say this part is. And Ash looks at Pikachu and says, why don't you want to go inside the Pokeball? You'll be safe there. And Pikachu says, I want to stay with you always. Pikachu actually said that in human language. Pikachu can talk. Now again, I think this was more done for comedic purposes, or the fact that it shows that Pikachu does care about Ash so much that it wants to protect Ash no matter what. So then Ash basically throws the Pokeball at Pikachu, locking Pikachu inside the Pokeball and taking all the hits from Marshadow and the other Pokemon. And then guess what happens? Ash falls to the ground and dies. But because Pikachu loves Ash so much and will never give up on Ash, Ash is brought back because of Pikachu's love, and Ash is restored back to the real world again. Which I thought was a bit rushed. It probably could have been a bit longer that Ash died. I mean, what, he's only died 5 times in the entire 20 years that he's been alive. So, you know what? 6 times doesn't really matter too much. So yeah, the film ends off with Ash battling Ho-Oh, but it's literally 5 seconds, if that. In fact, everything that we saw from the trailer where they're up on the mountain, where it's like a dusk type setting, the sky's orange, was completely cut out of the entire film. I think that was just there to hype the movie up, and I felt a bit disappointed the fact that they only had 5 seconds of the battle, and that's it. So then after that, they go to the Pokemon Center, get healed up, and then they all go their separate ways. Verity says that she wants to go back to Sinnoh and see her mum. Sorrel wants to head off and try and find Zapdos, Moltres, and Articuno, which he does find. And Ash carries on his journey, I'm guessing, going to be heading towards the other badges, and finally the Indigo League. So after all the characters go their separate ways, it rolls into the credits. And I thought the credits were actually pretty good. So in the credits, it showed all of the characters that Ash has ever travelled with. So Brock, Misty, Tracy, May, Max, Dawn, Iris, Silent, Clement, Bonnie, Serena. They all look shocked. So it showed them all looking, I'd say, towards the screen, so they're back to us. And then they all turn around. This is one at a time. They all turn around. They looked really shocked. I didn't really understand why. Not only that, but Serena was wearing her older outfit with the long hair and the skirt, which is a bit strange because I thought she would have been wearing the newer outfit. But you know what? It's a good throwback to the old Serena as well. But then after the credits, I don't know if this was the same for everybody else, but it showed 3 episodes of Pokemon Generations. I've seen on Twitter that some people saw that before the film started, but ours was after it. And then after the Pokemon Generations episode, it did an absolutely amazing thing. So it played the original theme tune that has always been remixed for this film. So it played that, and it played clips from every single Pokemon movie that has come out. So all the way from Pokemon Movie 1, Mewtwo Strikes Back, all the way to Pokemon Movie 19, Volcanion, and the Mechanical Marvel. But I thought it was absolutely unbelievable that the fact that they actually threw back to all of the Pokemon movies that have been released. But yeah, I think that's actually my rant over. So now I'm going to go into the ratings for the film, in my opinion. So would I watch this film again? Yes, I really would. I really would watch it again. Although it might only be 2-3 more times, I would still watch it again. It's good to see a Pokemon movie that was actually pretty good this time. So would I recommend the film? Yes, I would. If you have not seen it, then do and go and see it. Although I believe it's out of theatres and cinemas at the moment. So I believe it'll be coming on Disney XD soon. So keep a lookout for that. But yes, I would recommend this film. So my ratings out of 10, I would give the film 7.5. I would give this. So the ratings of the film, so I would put this in about 4th or 5th place. Because I thought it was a really good film, although we have had better films in the past. But yeah, I think that's going to be the rant and the review sort of thing over. So if you do go enjoy this video, please hit the thumbs up button. If you have already seen the film, let me know in the comments what your thoughts and opinions were of it. And finally, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. But yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.